Hi, everybody!
Hi, everyone.
Woohoo!
We are back.
All
Sorry
right.
about someone had a late as gig and couldn't make the call. Hey, it was
Yes,
me. I had a gig.
yes. You had your wedding. Yes, so that's good. Okay,
Hmm.
that you were emceeing.
Yes,
Yes.
but
Ah,
now I'm back.
yes, you are. You're back
Yeah,
and good.
yeah.
So, welcome everybody. Exodus chapter 13 and 14 because we missed.
Okay.
Yeah, we're doing a catch up to make up for our breakup because Berta's down in Gisborne at the moment, visiting our eldest boys and the grandbabies, and also a very special support, being a support person to one of her family for a very important milestone. So good on you, Alberta.
Very
Thank you.
important.
Very
Yes.
important. So, shall we start with the reading then, dear, for chapter 13?
Oh,
Or,
yes. My phone is slow. I mean, on my Bible's on my phone, so you'll have to read it.
okay, then. So,
Hey,
today
am I back? What do you call it?
you're lagging a little bit.
Oh, okay.
No,
All right.
no, you're not lagging. Okay, so Exodus chapter 13. Then the Lord said to Moses, dedicate to me every firstborn among the Israelites, the first offspring to be born of both humans and animals belong to me. So Moses said to the people, this is a day to remember forever, the day you left Egypt, the place of your slavery. Today the Lord has brought you out by the power of his mighty hand. Remember, eat no food containing yeast. On this day in early spring, in the month of Abib, you have been set free. You must celebrate this event in this month each year after the Lord brings you into the land of the Canaanites, Hittites, Amorites, Hivites, and Jebusites. He swore to your ancestors that he would give you this land, a land flowing with milk and honey. For 7 days, the bread you eat must be made without yeast. Then, on the seventh day, celebrate a feast to the Lord. Eat bread without yeast during those 7 days. In fact, there must be no yeast, bread, or any yeast at all found within the borders of your land during this time. On the seventh day, you must explain to your children, I'm celebrating what the Lord did for me when I left Egypt. This annual festival will be a visible sign to you, like a mark branded on your hand or your forehead. Ooh, opposite of mark of the beast. Hey. Let it remind you always. Wow, this is. Did you hear that, lady?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. Okay, sorry. Let it remind you always to recite this teaching of the Lord. With a strong hand, the Lord rescued you from Egypt, so observe the decree of this festival at the appointed time each year. This is what you must do when the Lord fulfills the promise he swore to you and to your ancestors. When he gives you the land where the Canaanites now live, you must present all firstborn sons and firstborn male animals to the Lord, for they belong to him. A firstborn donkey may be brought back from the Lord by presenting a lamb or a young goat in its place, but if you do not buy it back, you must break its neck. However, you must buy back every firstborn son. And in the future, your children will ask you, what does this all mean? And then you will tell them, with the power of his mighty hand, the Lord brought us out of Egypt, the place of our slavery. Pharaoh stubbornly refused to let us go, so the Lord killed all the firstborn males throughout the land of Egypt, both people and animals. And that is why I now sacrifice all the firstborn males to the Lord, except that the firstborn sons are always bought back. This ceremony will be like a mark branded on your hand or your forehead. It is a reminder that the power of the Lord's mighty hand brought us out of Egypt. Israel's wilderness detour. When Pharaoh finally let the people go, God did not lead them along the main road that runs through Philistine territory, even though that was the shortest route to the promised land. God said, if the people are faced with a battle, they might change their minds and return to Egypt. So God led them in a roundabout way through the wilderness toward the sea, the Red Sea. Thus, the Israelites left Egypt like an army ready for battle. Moses took the bones of Joseph with him, for Joseph had made the sons of Israel swear to do this. He said, God will certainly come to help you, and when he does, you must take my bones with you from this place. The Israelites left Succoth and camped at Etham on the edge of the wilderness. The Lord went ahead of them. He guided them during the day with a pillar of cloud, and he provided light at night with a pillar of fire. This allowed them to travel by day or by night. And the Lord did not remove the pillar of cloud or pillar of fire from its place in front of the people. And that is Exodus chapter 13. May the Lord bless the reading of his amazing word. Sorry, lady, can I just share something? Going back to that, the mark of, well, the mark on either your forehead or
Where?
or your hand. It's like, if we're looking in the context of the mark of the beast, how the Lord's saying, okay, with this mark, it's like a mark that you are mine, as opposed to the counterfeit, which is Satan, the enemy, in Revelation in the last days, doing the same thing. And it's almost saying, like, ha ha ha, you, God, look, these are the ones I own, sort of thing.
Mm.
Now, some notes or what you took away from chapter 13, Albert?
Uh, yes. Just about the Israelites with the firstborn.
The firstborn, yep.
About, yeah. But if you take that into like us, we are the, there's a remnant of firstborns. But it's like, what does it mean, firstborn?
Sorry, can you repeat?
What does it mean to be firstborn?
Mm.
Like that, how quickly we forget we is. That was my revelation.
Oh, from chapter 13?
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Oh, did you read 13 and 15 together?
No, I thought we were doing it individually. Did you want me to read 14 as well? Oh, okay.
No.
Sorry?
No.
Oh, okay. So some of my thoughts from 13 that I wrote, because in the King James Version, which is interesting, verse 12 and verse 15, it uses the word matrix in the King James Version, which in other versions is the womb. It's so very interesting, and I've read a few times throughout the word where this word matrix and the womb. Wow. Redeeming of the a land flowing with milk and honey, the goodness of God. Huh? The memorial, the seventh day feast after 7 days eating unleavened bread, that the Israelites would never forget. Taking the bones of Joseph, that's a very significant act, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like not forgetting the past and those that have gone before. Always making that type of reference, but taking Joseph, and how interesting, like I think we read in the last chapter, 430 years to the day that Israel left Egypt, and taking Joseph also, it's like a sign of taking away the blessing or the covering of God over Egypt at that time, and taking the conduit, the person who God used to bring the nation of Israel to Egypt. So, full circle, full circle.
Amazing.
Mm. going by way of the Red Sea instead of the land of the Philistines, because they, might see wars and get scared. They might get,
Mm.
but I saw that as a picture of the future conflicts between these two nations, Israel and the Philistines, and
Yeah.
pillar of cloud by day representing rest, and pillar of fire by night being protection.
Yeah.
Mm. Now, were there any other thoughts from yourself, please, lady, before I move on to chapter 14? Or was there anything, what's Papa showing you through our reading?
Well, I think I lagged. Do I?
Yeah, you are a little bit, but I'll let you know if you do so that you can repeat yourself.
Mm. I think it was like, again, going back to firstborn, the walk and talk of fully immersing yourselves as the rightful place or a child of God, because they were constantly seeing miracles and one, yet they didn't take their rightful place as a child of God,
Mm.
being a part of his, chosen people.
Yeah, it's it's
That's the reflection of his, like, why do we find it so difficult to grasp that concept when he's showing it in the Old Testament,
mm,
his goodness?
mm. It's also why we find it so hard to receive as people many times. I know from my own experience, it's that low self worth. Like you've seen me do it how many times? People they want to bless me, like give me money or offer to buy me food or that, and I always say, "Oh no, 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 it's all good," but really, it's well, you can say, yeah, fake humility, or uh, taking away that person's blessing. And I have been growled off a number of times about somebody trying to bless me. I say no, and then it's like, hey, don't steal, don't rob me of my blessing. And it's like, oh, okay, kia ora.
Mm,
Mm. The
that's
self
one
worth.
instance, but
Mm.
I think it's like your mind as well. It's
Mm.
like in
Mm.
all things.
You don't feel
Why
worthy.
why do we struggle with
Mm.
the word being true
Yeah.
in spirit? Yep, that's just one example.
Mm.
Walking out everything holistically, like body, soul, mind,
Mm.
spirit.
A good point you bring up about body also being environment. Uh, that can impact a lot. So, for example, our relationships, like our relationships with our dads, say using that as an example, how that can impact how you see God. If you are a son or daughter that has been abandoned or mistreated, abused by your earthly dad, how does that impact the way that you see God and working through that trauma or dysfunction to see the pure truth and light of the word, that in spite of your environment that you were raised, that God is God in season, out of season.
Mm,
Like,
yeah, no matter whether you're born into wealth or you're born into poor,
mm, mm,
it's about attitude and about the mind,
yeah. Also, how,
embracing.
oh, sorry, dear. Like, even words, this is something that Beta sees me do all the time. I do not like the word shut up. I don't like the word shut up because from a young age, I was conditioned in my upbringing. That's you don't say that word. You don't say that word. It's not a nice word. Mm.
Well, it's not a nice word, is it?
No, it's not a nice word. But what I'm saying is how that even that word can trigger, because to me it connects or
Is
reminds
it
me.
your
Mm,
childhood?
yeah, childhood. And that would be another reason why the receiving of blessing is because the not only the low self-worth but also that belief or mindset that you don't deserve it. If you're spending if you uh, if you a lot of your childhood, and again I can only cite from my own personal experience, but if most days you'll either be being called stupid, useless, dumb, and you're hearing it day after day after day, and especially as a young impressionable, as a young person still developing, how that can really sow seeds of low low self worth in yourself. That the picture that other people see on the outside, a lot of times, is not the way you see yourself. And again, through receiving compliments, if somebody says, "Oh, you did a really good job doing this," or da da da, and you go, "Oh, nah, I didn't," that more likely is a sign also again of the low worth, or the words that have been spoken over and into you, and it's breaking that, dear, breaking those words, breaking those strongholds by the blood
Yeah,
of the Lamb. Mm.
yeah. I saw in here about how he talked about also off topic. Well, not really, about the 7 days of eating unleavened bread.
Mm. And no,
And in fact, don't have any yeast bread around you.
in their
You know?
territories, no leaven.
Mm.
Because what does that represent, dear? Leaven, what or leaven? Sin.
They say that.
Mm.
Mm.
And then on the seventh day, having a feast.
Before they leave. Yeah.
Mm. So it was 7 days, and then on
So
the
process straight away that
yeah,
they were leaving Egypt. There was a 21-day gap
yeah,
between the and them leaving, wasn't it?
okay, yeah.
So 21 days to move out of Egypt.
Mm. Oh, so they had one, oh, and then there was another one, the 21 day, and then they had the 7 day one before
Yeah.
that, I think.
Mm.
Awesomeness.
Always find these numbers interesting, and God
Mm.
puts particular numbers in the Bible.
Yeah,
7,
yeah.
21, 14. I
Berta,
can
see,
look again.
Berta sees this all the time with me. I'm always forever adding up numbers to bring it down to a single digit to go, oh, wow.
What one is three?
Can you say that again?
Three being Holy Trinity.
Yes.
3 and 4, 7.
Well,
4 and 4 is 8.
yes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Drill rapper.
well, you were born on the 6th of the 67th. I was born on the 7th of the 11th of the 5th.
Of the 7.
Okay. Oh, do you have anything else, dear, before I move on to chapter 14? Or read chapter 14?
No, but lots to ponder on, like
Yeah.
pillar of use in the fire,
Mm,
pillar of at night.
yeah.
You know, they just go and do wonders again.
Mm.
You know,
1 minute they're celebrating, praising God, and then the next minute, oh Moses, why'd you bring us out of this place? We should have just left us in Egypt. Dear. Okay, are we moving on to Exodus chapter 14 now? Awesomeness.
yes, please.
Exodus chapter 14. Then the Lord gave these instructions to Moses: order the Israelites to turn back and camp by Pi Hahiroth. between Migdol and the sea, camped there along the shore across from Baal Zephon. Then Pharaoh will think, the Israelites are confused, they are trapped in the wilderness, and once again I will harden Pharaoh's heart, and he will chase after you. I have planned this in order to display my glory through Pharaoh and his whole army. After this, the Egyptians will know that I am the Lord. So the Israelites camped there as they were told. When word reached the king of Egypt that the Israelites had fled, Pharaoh and his officials changed their minds. What have we done letting all those Israelite slaves get away? They asked. So Pharaoh harnessed his chariot and called up his troops. He took with him 600 number of Egypt's best chariots, along with the rest of the chariots of Egypt, each with its commander. Oh, I was just having a quick thought there in terms of when Israel was exiting, how they were in their tribes as they exited, as they were leaving leaving Egypt. Wow. The Lord hardened the heart of Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, so he chased after the people of Israel, who had left with fists raised in defiance. The Egyptians chased after them with all the forces in Pharaoh's army, all his horses and chariots, his charioteers and his troops. The Egyptians caught up with the people of Israel as they were camped beside the shore near Pi Hahiroth across from Baal Zephon. As Pharaoh approached the people of Israel, the people of Israel looked up and panicked when they saw the Egyptians overtaking them. They cried out to the Lord, and they said to Moses, "Why did you bring us out here to die in the wilderness? Weren't there enough graves for us in Egypt? What have you done to us? Why did you make us leave Egypt? Didn't we tell you this would happen while we were still in Egypt?" We said, "Leave us alone. Let us be slaves to the Egyptians. It's better to be a slave in Egypt than a corpse in the wilderness." Ugh. But Moses told the people, "Don't be afraid. Just stand still and watch the Lord rescue you today. The Egyptians you see today will never be seen again. The Lord himself will fight for you. Just stay calm." Escape through the Red Sea. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Why are you crying out to me? Tell the people to get moving. Pick up your staff and raise your hand over the sea. Divide the water so the Israelites can walk through the middle of the sea on dry ground. And I will harden the hearts of the Egyptians, and they will charge in after the Israelites. My great glory will be displayed through Pharaoh and his troops, his chariots and his charioteers. When my glory is displayed through them, all Egypt will see my glory and know that I am the Lord." Then the angel of God, who had been leading the people of Israel, moved to the rear of the camp. The pillar of cloud also moved from the front and stood behind them. The cloud settled between the Egyptian and Israelite camps. As darkness fell, the cloud turned to fire, lighting up the night. But the Egyptians and Israelites did not approach each other all night. Then Moses raised his hand over the sea, and the Lord opened up a path through the water with a strong east wind. The wind blew all that night, turning the seabed into dry land. So the people of Israel walked through the middle of the sea on dry ground, with walls of water on each side. Then the Egyptians, all of Pharaoh's horses, chariots, and charioteers, chased them into the middle of the sea. But just before the dawn, the Lord looked down on the Egyptian army from the pillar of fire and cloud, and he threw their forces into total confusion. He twisted their chariot wheels, making their chariots difficult to drive. "Let's get out of here, away from these Israelites," the Egyptians shouted. "The Lord is fighting for them against Egypt." When all the Israelites had reached the other side, the Lord said to Moses, "Raise your hand over the sea again. Then the waters will rush back and cover the Egyptians and their chariots and charioteers." So as the sun began to rise, Moses raised his hand over the sea, and the water rushed back into its usual place. The Egyptians tried to escape, but the Lord swept them into the sea. Then the waters returned and covered all the chariots and charioteers. The entire army of Pharaoh, of all the Egyptians who had chased the Israelites into the sea, Not a single one survived. But the people of Israel had walked through the middle of the sea on dry ground as the water stood up like a wall on both sides. That is how the Lord rescued Israel from the hand of the Egyptians that day. And the Israelites saw the bodies of the Egyptians washed up on the seashore. When the people of Israel saw the mighty power that the Lord had unleashed against the Egyptians, they were filled with awe before him. They put their faith in the Lord and in his servant Moses.
Wow.
Wow. Are you okay if I go first this time, dear? Because I just had well, maybe not a revelation, but a thought.
I think it's better coming from you because I feel like I'm slow. My
Oh, no, you're coming, you're fine now.
Oh, it keeps changing, but yeah, you go.
Well, only just as I was reading the last part. So when I did my reading this morning, I was doing a little. Uh, I googled historical evidence of the parting of the Red Sea, and there were so many entries that talked about uh, there's not much or no evidence can be found. And at first, I thought I shut it down and go, no, it's true, it's true. But as I'm reading this, it came to me.
Mm.
If you think about the first generation that came out of Egypt, what's the thing that we do as, many cultures, many indigenous cultures? How do we pass down our history?
Wow.
Through the sharing of stories, through,
Yeah, pass down, eh?
yeah, passing down. So just thinking, wow, there may not be evidence in the way that we usually see evidence, but it doesn't mean to say that there have been stories that have been passed down from generation to generation since the first generation coming out of Egypt. You need to move over because half of your face is not showing. Yeah, there. That those stories have been passed down from generation to generation up to present day. It's incredible.
That's huge.
Mm. Oh, uh, Israel leaving Egypt confidently and defiantly. King James says high hand. And then from this to verses between 10 and 12, complaining to Moses when seeing the Egyptians approaching. Uh, 8 to 12, verse was it from arrogance to fear. Uh, Pillar of cloud moved behind Israel between them and the Egyptians, dark for the Egyptians, but light for Israel at night. And then what is it? Oh, strong east wind all night. And there we go again with this, strong east wind, drying the ground, and the waters divided, formed walls. And I had this picture of that animated feature, The Prince of Egypt, when they were walking through, and you could see like the blue whale and all that. And I was thinking, man, that would have been so fascinating. And then the pillar of fire and cloud. The fire had not been mentioned, it was only the cloud, but fire was mentioned only near the end, verse 24. And at dawn it happened. What is the significance of dawn?
I've heard dawn,
Mm,
and then some chapters they talk about twilight.
yeah.
Interesting. Is dawn sunset or morning?
Morning.
And
Oh, wait.
twilight is
Dawn. What
I can't remember.
time is dawn?
Morning, eh?
6:48. 8. Wow. It's, yeah, in the morning. In the morning. What about for you, dear?
Uh, that God really wanted to show his glory through this. That he talks about it in the first couple of verses, eh? So the Israelites are seen and the Egyptians who could fully. Is Pharaoh drowned as well, or just the soldiers? Does it say Pharaoh?
You know, it says everybody. Oh, let me go back into what you talk.
I don't know. Yeah, it's a good chapter. I don't have much
Mm,
written what I found besides all Egypt will see my glory.
mm,
It again, like convince how much convincing did the Israelites need to show that maybe his provision of protection and providing heat at night and cloud in the day
mm, mm.
that
It's
we naturally gravitate to. You're too good. You're just too good.
mm,
Mm.
uh,
Oh, it's good.
entire army of Pharaoh. Of all the Egyptians who had chased the Israelites into the sea, not a single one survived.
Mm.
It doesn't
Yeah.
specifically say Pharaoh, because uh, referencing the same movie, The Prince of Egypt, how in the movie showing that Pharaoh survived.
Good movie though.
Yeah, true.
But it was like hard, like God caused the hardness of their hearts, and then God caused them to give gold and silver.
Mm. Or ask for gold and silver
Yeah,
articles from their neighbors,
but
which,
they found
mm,
the fame of Moses and that, and the Egyptian people. I mean, the Israelites were seen. They gave them lots, sent them out with lots.
mm,
Mm. That was good.
good.
Thank you for that.
Thank you. What's the weather like down in Gizzy at the moment? It's okay. You,
Speaking of weather,
yeah.
um, so Friday was a bit spitty
Mm.
and cold and then hot. And I sat in the car and I was like, I've had enough of this rain. And you know how
You always
the
speak to the weather.
yeah, the locusts come in from the west and leave from the east.
No, it was
No,
east west.
east and leave from the west.
Mm.
I was like, you've had it. Your day's over. You're gonna come from the east and you're gonna go leave from the west. And for me, it's like I felt like saying, if it's kills, using John 10:10, if it's killing, stealing, destroying the land or people's provision, like weddings or things can't happen, events, then build a war. You know, you can reign, but if it's out of order, don't reign. Like, I was really annoyed.
Oh, okay. At the
What
weather.
did you go? Yeah, because it's like it's been messing with our economy. It's been messing with the plans of God, and I'm like, no. So I speak to the weather like under my voice. I build a wall. You
Mm.
can come from the east, and you can leave out the west and stop, because there was flooding up north as well, wasn't there?
I don't know.
Um, oh well, again, media putting out that there was a weather warning and whatnot, but we seem to be stuck in that thing whenever there's rain. Oh no, it's going to flood. People's attitudes are, but it's like, no, the power's in us. We saw Jesus do it.
Yeah.
And it's going back to chapter 13 about our, what are we saying to ourselves? What are we speaking over? Are we going to be like, you know, grumble about it or do something about it?
Mm.
Yeah. And partner with Holy Spirit, of course. So, yeah.
Faith is a mustard seed. Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. I see you took the kids out for breakfast, was it?
Oh, okay. There's a bit of a tone in your voice when you said that, like, oh, okay. Because it's like
Or did they do calls?
99% of the time it's you going out to breakfast. So I don't know. I sense there's a little
I
bit of
done
upsetness there, which I'm
breakfast.
going to ask you
And
to put
hold
that
up.
away.
I haven't done breakfast in how long, Brian? We've been carnival.
Yes. And I had a nice omelette. Yes, so I took three of the kids out today, Noah, Glory, and Summer, and we took our boys. Sorry, we've got to say dogs. I took our furry children too, Snoopy and SJ. We took them for a walk at Mangere Bridge, and then after that, I shouted them breakfast, which they weren't expecting, and that's always the best one for kids, eh, dear? Not go there and it's like, okay, buy me breakfast, and like, oh, okay then.
Oh, no.
Thanks for asking, but they were very blessed. And then we went to One Hunga to get some meat. We spent some time at the $2 shop there, and then we went to the what is it? The chemist warehouse, and then on the way back stopped in at Mangere Bridge again to get some eggs and toilet paper because we ran out of toilet paper. But the main thing was it was good to make time or spend time with the kids, and it's very interesting. I'm not going to divulge the details of our conversations and that, but there is a bit
Mm.
of a generational divide, as Albert knows, and some thinking around topics which I just held my tongue and just listened, okay? And it was all part of our talanoa, but it's interesting as for our parents watching, feel free to share uh, your differing views, maybe with your kids around things like faith, politics,
No
any
internet.
no internet. Yes. So we made a stand a while back that we weren't happy with how things were running in our house or not running, and so we took off. We removed the internet, and everybody's just having to do their own uh, plans and stuff like that. And so we have yet to have a family discussion around putting that back on, and if so, what the ground rules will be around that. Mm.
Mm.
And Alberta led that initiative, and I take my hat off to you because there was a lot of screaming and shouting when it first happened, and people realised,
And these people.
yeah, well, where's the Wi-Fi? And it's like, oh, we don't have it anymore. Oh, what happened? Was there a fault or something? Oh no, we just turned it off. Oh my God! Mm,
How dare you? What are we gonna
yeah.
do? It's a boring
Oh,
thing here.
you abusive parents. No, you don't love us. Mm,
Ta-da-ba-ta.
awesomeness. Okay, then
What happened to Kate?
ah,
Just those two. Just the other two missing.
yeah, they weren't at home or at work. Mm,
Mm.
yeah. What about you? Did you get to go out? Have you been out with the twins or the grandbaby since you've been down in Gizzy?
Not really. Just getting shopping and then making food here and stuff.
Mm,
Went to see Jason, hung out with June,
mm.
went to this. Yeah, been very nice.
Something just came up on in my head, or is it in my heart? And I think it's a good. Yeah, why not share? So a few years back, our distance. So you're seeing it now. Bert is just going down to Gisborne for a holiday, but a number of years ago.
It's not a holiday, it's work, I'm working.
Okay, well, can you let me finish, please? 'Cause- so, number of years ago, we were in real bad debt, and
Oh, that. Yeah.
yeah, and the only job that Berta could find, your head keeps on going out of the frame, Mel. Yeah.
Sorry,
And the only job Berta could find was down in Gisborne, and so we lived
I
apart.
didn't find.
Well, the job found you. We lived apart for 18 months, and it was really hard time for us being separated from
I,
each other. Well, more
he
so
was
for
the one.
me. I was making any excuse to go down to Gisborne to spend time with her, and other times when finances allowed, there was one time we met halfway, I think in Whakatane,
Mm,
Whakatane, and we oh there was I brought down, maybe I think it was me and one of the kids
Maybe.
or some of the kids. We brought down yum cha. Anybody in Auckland, if you haven't tried the yum cha out in Hunter's Corner, second floor, you don't know what you're missing. Anywho,
I've gone up in price. I don't miss it
yeah.
anymore. So
So there were times we were able to splurge on ourselves, but the lesson that we took away from that was, what was the lesson we took away from that, dear?
always make time.
Mm, yeah.
Um, yeah.
Mm. It's very important that you have to make time for
Mm.
the loved ones. But what I think another thing that, or something that I
I
took,
think too.
it strengthened our relationship. Do you think, being apart for that long?
Oh yeah,
Mm,
yeah. I, for me, it was about you know you come into your own
mm,
as a couple. You're not useful if you just sit there and someone else is doing the providing and you've got gifts and talents yourself, or God removes you from the picture to grow you, and then you grow stronger together.
mm.
Mm,
There was a lot of petitioning during that time, and a lot of humbling, a lot of
yeah,
soul
I learned
searching.
a lot about myself
Mm,
because I rely on myself. Brian wasn't with me there, and coming. Sometimes we'd be on a call and Brian's argumentative, and I'll be like, "I'm hanging up," like before it would be trying to appease, or be peacemaker, but it was like I had a good sleep in the morning, I'd be fine, but it was learning to just not carry stuff on.
mm,
Whereas if we were still at home, there's nowhere to go.
mm.
What am I going to
Yeah,
do?
I'll be
It's,
Oh, sorry, you were saying, dear?
no, nothing.
I For me, I learned to appreciate just what you do for us as a family. 18 months apart, and a lot of times having to do your own cooking, having to, do all the stuff which you take for granted, which I hope I'm much better at. But in my not in my defence, but being raised in a home of four boys and your parents are cleaners, we we pretty much we, we pretty
Love
quickly,
cleaning.
yeah, we pretty quickly learnt how to do all these things: cleaning, cooking. Man, when I still remember, even being at primary school, intermediate, my mates will be playing out at the park, and I can see them from inside the classroom while I'm buffing the floors. And it's like, this this
Mm,
picture doesn't this doesn't look right to me. Anywho,
anywho,
but yeah, sorry, just again appreciating appreciating you more, and I don't mind saying it, and I do appreciate you, dear. I'm so happy. 29 years in December, and man, we've been together over 30 something years. It's been an incredible journey, especially in God,
yeah,
and the
yeah.
best.
And I think just even better when you can include your kids because there's so many ministries out there that
Mm,
the people put them, they see them as pastors or
mm,
bits and stuff, but their backyard is messed up.
mm,
And it's sad because they don't know where to turn to. they've got a lot of people following them, or they're doing it for the wrong reasons, like generational,
Yeah.
and it's they hide sin, and all they need is just mentoring or being loved on. But
Mm,
it's like, well, I'm the pastor, so I've got to face, show faith, and live it. But unfortunately, the story keeps coming up that they're human and they need relationships just as much, but find it really hard to, you know, be honest and real.
mm.
Mm.
We
So,
we haven't done one for a while, but something that we do as a family on the regular, having family meetings where we come, we break bread, just share how our day and our week's been going. Sometimes it might be just a quick get together. Other times it could end up being a few hours because something comes out of it. But I think one thing, hopefully, that our kids have learnt from us about being able to express yourself
mm,
and speak your mind and speak your heart, that especially when they feel
good.
safe.
Yeah.
And we've dealt
We
with
have different of opinions, but it's at the end of the day, we choose each other.
mm, that's
I
not
don't think we've
mm,
had one in a long time.
no. And I love how you bring that up, dear. We choose each other. A desire of ours as parents is we've all, well, for me especially, I've always had a desire to do something with my wife and children as a family, whether in ministry or business or that. I think that would be just the ultimate, that families
Peace.
op-
Yeah.
operating in
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
individual giftings and
Don't you
talents.
think a little bit of nepotism?
Sorry.
Would that be a bit of nepotism?
I think nepotism more applies to, if you're in a, say for example, you in a job or that, and pull strings to get one of your kids, or somebody that has sway or influence somewhere, and you're using that, or nepotism. But to me, the way I see it in the kingdom is that God is Papa is he's all about families. He's all about generations. You look at, for us as Tangata, Ole Moana, Pasifika, many times in our homes, we have generations living together, and
Mm.
there's a lot to be said for that.
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah. True. Yeah. I think when it's used as, you know, to like pull strings, like you say,
mm.
but when a business that flows where all families can work together and they have a function, eh?
Well, here's the thing, dear. If it's your business, you pretty much
Business.
you're the
Yeah.
one that says who who you can employ anyway. So
Yeah. So there.
so there, yes.
Yeah. How's the dogs? You've been putting water in the trays?
Mm. So they
That's
they enjoyed their run today, and then when we brought
mm,
them home, I went to heat something up in the microwave, and half of my dinner last night that I made, sausages and egg mix, which I said will give for Glory, she didn't take it. So I put the sausages into their plates, and man, they devoured it before it even touched the touched the plate. It was like it was like oldness. So,
no big fight.
mm-hmm. No, no, no. I
No.
gave them two each. So
So we are up to, well, I'm gonna day 14, eh? Day 15 tomorrow.
day 15 tomorrow. So we'll see what time that will happen. I've got a lunch date with two of my uncles at 3 o'clock, but it'll
Mm-hmm.
definitely be around the 6 to 7 mark, eh, dear? 6 to 7 o'clock mark.
Or
Yeah?
because you're 3 o'clock, eh? You finish.
Yeah, and then I'm getting picked up and going out to
Yeah.
lunch.
Okay. We'll do it after that. But
Okay.
thank you, everybody, listening in and looking um, at Exodus. It's been a good journey.
Mm.
Mm.
We really appreciate your support and your company and the millions of viewers around the world. Our prayer ultimately, our dear, is that
Mm.
that you would be encouraged in your own relationships with each other as couples, partners, and be encouraged in your relationship with God,
Yeah.
real and raw. That he's always there, loving,
Yeah.
always waiting, always waiting for you to come.
Yeah.
Mm,
And it's not just your spirit, but your mind and body.
yeah, come on,
Look at soul, sorry.
holistic, holistic.
Mm.
Yeah.
Alrighty, Hody. Let's
Okay then.
go. We've had a long call tonight.
Yeah. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Hey. Oh wow. So 30 minutes ago we had people. Who was it? Leash. Thank you, Leash. Because I can't see on this Facebook page that we're going live who's actually watching. And oh, the cars, Tom, Aulu, and others too that were. Sorry, I can't see, but
Oh,
thank you all for your support in that. We really appreciate it. And again, we hope that you would take something away and be blessed and encouraged. Mm. Thank you, Father, for our viewers and pray your blessing. And of course, oh, we've got to start including the link, hey? I'll put it into the yeah. Oh,
oh,
you
blurry.
put it up, and I'll
Am I?
put. Yep,
Yeah.
your one's not blurry, and we'll put the link in the description. Awesomeness.
Yeah.
Okay then, everyone, go out and change the world.